In 1984, Nike was so close to bankruptcy that they were preparing to shut down their entire basketball division. Michael Jordan didn't want to meet with them. His agent tried to block the deal, and the contract they eventually signed broke every rule in sports marketing history. That unprecedented gamble created a brand that today generates over $6 billion annually. But the story of how it actually happened is far stranger than what you saw on screen. Welcome to Fact vs. Film. I'm breaking down Air, Ben Affleck's 2023 film about Nike's legendary pursuit of Michael Jordan. Today, we're separating what really happened from what the film invented, simplified, or completely reimagined. Matt Damon portrays Sonny Vaccaro as the visionary hero who single-handedly convinced Nike to bet everything on Michael Jordan. He watches Jordan's highlights, drives to North Carolina to meet Jordan's mother, and delivers that climactic speech that seals the deal. Perfect Hollywood protagonist. But here's the problem. Almost everyone involved disputes how central Vaccaro actually was. According to Phil Knight, Nike's co-founder, Vaccaro helped but wasn't the MVP of this process. Michael Jordan himself has been even more direct. In a 2015 interview, Jordan said the person who really convinced him wasn't Vaccaro at all. It was George Raveling, the assistant coach on the 1984 Olympic basketball team. Raveling kept telling him during the Olympics, "You gotta go Nike, you gotta try." Jordan also credits Rob Strasser, Nike's vice president of marketing, as the second most influential person. The real Strasser was aggressive and abrasive, the total opposite of his cautious film counterpart played by Jason Bateman. After leaving Nike in 1991, Vaccaro went on record saying, "Phil Knight's lying, Michael's lying more than Phil, and Raveling is insane." The tension between these competing versions has never been fully resolved. What we know for certain, multiple people played crucial roles. Raveling made the introduction. Strasser led the pitch. Designer Peter Moore created the shoe and name. Vaccaro helped orchestrate meetings. Phil Knight later said, "The signing of Michael Jordan, success has 1,000 fathers and failure is an orphan." The film simplifies this messy reality into one hero's journey. That works for cinema, but it erases how this deal actually came together. One of the movie's most dramatic sequences shows Vaccaro driving to North Carolina, showing up unannounced at the Jordan home, and delivering an impassioned speech to Deloris Jordan. It's a beautiful scene. Viola Davis is phenomenal. And it never happened. In reality, it was Michael Jordan's agent, David Falk, the same agent the movie portrays as an obstacle, who actually arranged for Jordan to meet with Nike. Falk called Jordan's parents and told them Michael needed to go to Oregon. Jordan agreed, but insisted on bringing his parents. So the film inverts reality. Falk wasn't blocking Nike's access. He was facilitating it. And Vaccaro didn't have to go rogue to reach the family. When did Vaccaro first meet Jordan in person? After the 1984 Summer Olympics, arranged through George Raveling. This change transforms Vaccaro from a well-connected professional into a renegade risking everything on instinct. More cinematic, but fiction. The movie claims Nike had only $250,000 for basketball endorsements and was on the verge of collapse. The real numbers tell a different story. Nike's actual offer to Jordan was $2.5 million over 5 years, $500,000 per year. That's double what the film claims. The lower figure was used to amplify the underdog narrative. That said, Nike genuinely was struggling. They held only 17% of the basketball market, far behind Converse and Adidas. They'd gone public in 1980 and posted their first quarterly loss in 1984. The desperation was real. The film just sharpened those stakes with altered figures. Air makes Nike's pursuit feel like one intense week. In reality, according to Vaccaro himself, Nike spent 3.5 months pursuing Michael Jordan. 3.5 months of negotiations, competing against Adidas and Converse, trying to convince a 21-year-old who frankly didn't want to sign with them. Jordan told USA Today, "I never wore Nike shoes until I signed with Nike. I was a big Adidas, Converse guy. My parents made me go out to hear their proposal." He didn't want to be there. His parents had to push him. This wasn't a lightning strike moment. It was a grinding, uncertain campaign where Nike had to overcome Jordan's preferences and their competitors' superior positions. Reality was slower, messier, and far less certain than the film suggests. Viola Davis delivers a powerful performance as Deloris Jordan, portrayed as the mastermind negotiator who demands Michael receive a percentage of every shoe sold. There's truth here, but it's more nuanced. Deloris absolutely was influential. She encouraged Michael to take the meeting. She attended the pitch. She recognized Nike's desperation could be leveraged. But the movie inflates her role to give Davis screen time and keep Michael Jordan off-screen. The revolutionary royalty clause was a collaborative negotiation between agent David Falk, the Jordan family, and Nike's leadership. It wasn't Deloris making a dramatic last-second phone call demand. However, the film honors something Jordan himself requested. When Affleck met with Jordan before filming, one of Jordan's few demands was accurately depicting his mother's importance. Jordan told Affleck, "None of this would have ever happened without my mother." He also specifically requested Viola Davis play her. Perhaps the strangest choice? Michael Jordan barely appears. We see only the back of his head and hear a few words. Affleck explained, "Michael Jordan is so famous that if we ever saw an actor playing him, it would be hard to suspend disbelief." He's probably right. But this creates a narrative gap. We're watching a movie about a deal revolving around one man's charisma and star power, and that man is functionally absent. Screenwriter Alex Convery was deliberate. "I didn't want this to be a Jordan biopic because it's not my story to tell." Admirable, but it means we never explore Jordan's own perspective or reasons for choosing Nike. In 1984, Jordan signed a 5-year contract worth $2.5 million, plus a percentage of every Air Jordan sold. This structure was unprecedented. Athletes received flat fees, not equity in products. Phil Knight approved it despite terrifying his board. "We had to ensure the endorsement," he later said. Nike projected $3 million in first-year sales. They sold $162 million worth, 50 times their projection. Today, Air Jordan generates over $6.5 billion annually for Nike. Michael Jordan earns an estimated $400 million per year in passive income from Nike alone. $400 million annually, decades after retirement. Jordan made less than $100 million total from his 15-year NBA career. The Nike deal has earned him exponentially more than playing basketball ever did. Forbes estimates his net worth at over $2 billion, mostly from Nike. This deal fundamentally changed how athletes negotiate endorsements. The equity model became standard for superstars across all sports. The film's epilogue gives brief updates, but there's more. Rob Strasser left Nike in 1987 to join Adidas, taking designer Peter Moore with him. At Adidas, Moore redesigned their logo to the version we know today. Strasser died in 1993 at 46. Sonny Vaccaro was fired from Nike in 1991 under unclear circumstances. He also went to Adidas, then Reebok. In 2014, he became central to the O'Bannon versus NCAA lawsuit fighting for college athletes to be compensated. The court ruled for the players, and Vaccaro's later work genuinely changed how student athletes are treated. Peter Moore died in April 2022, weeks before filming began. The film is dedicated to his memory. George Raveling reportedly turned down $3 million for his copy of Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech, handed to him by King himself in 1963. This deal has been called the Rashomon of shoe deals. Everyone has a different version. Vaccaro says he was the visionary. Knight says Vaccaro overstates his role. Jordan credits Raveling. Strasser's contributions are acknowledged, but he can't defend his version. What's certain? Nike was desperate in 1984. Jordan didn't want to sign with them. Multiple people worked to change his mind. The contract was unprecedented and risky. The result was the most successful athlete endorsement in history. The film simplifies this into a clean narrative with one hero. But the messy, collaborative reality is more interesting because it shows how fragile this moment was. If any one person had failed, Raveling, Deloris, Strasser, Moore, or yes, Vaccaro, it might never have happened. Here's what the movie doesn't tell you. Nike originally designed the Air Jordan concept as their basketball strategy, not exclusively for Michael. They had backup shoes ready for Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon. If Jordan said no, they'd pivot immediately. The visionary belief in Jordan the film celebrates, real, but also a business hedge. Nike needed someone. Jordan was the best option, not the only option. And yet, despite that calculated pragmatism, what happened next genuinely changed everything. A struggling shoe company and a 21-year-old rookie built something neither could have imagined. If you want more deep dives comparing true story films to actual history, subscribe to Fact versus Film. Every video goes beyond surface-level trivia to show you the real stories behind the movies, the complications, and surprising truths that make history more compelling than fiction. Hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.